In 1830, while the church was still in its infancy in upstate New York, a man appeared at the home Joseph Smith was staying at named Sidney Rigdon. Sidney was a recent convert to the church, a former Campbellite minister who joined after missionaries introduced him to the Book of Mormon. Joseph Smith received a revelation on behalf of Sidney Rigdon and on behalf of his friend Edward Partridge, telling Edward to be baptized. But it was shortly after that they received one of the most important revelations in the Doctrine and Covenants, the first command to gather. So section 37, which is a very, very short section, just tells the saints to gather to the Ohio. But then section 38, which is a lot longer, explains the reasons. They were told, one, that if they gathered, they would receive the law. The law is the law of consecration, which is received almost immediately after Joseph Smith arrives here. The second is that the Lord said they would be endowed with power from on high, which this endowment leads them to build this building, the first temple, the Kirtland, Ohio temple, and today compels Latter-day Saints to continue to gather. So all throughout the rest of the century, they gather to build temples, and even today, we gather two temples to be continually endowed with power from on high.
My name is Casey Griffiths, and I love learning about church history. Join me as we travel the world and explore the history of the Latter-day Saints. This is Restoration Revealed.
I'm here in the Skull Valley of Utah. It's one of the most desolate places that you'll ever see. There's no people, there's no houses, and there's almost no vegetation. Yet right here, there is a cemetery indicating that there once was a town. So coming to a place like this begs a couple questions. Why were they here in the first place? And second, why did they abandon the town?
This was once a town consisting of Hawaiian Latter-day Saints who immigrated to Utah. To uncover why these Hawaiian saints came to Utah and why they left, we need to travel to their homeland to find additional clues.
Attention, all passengers on Flight 152.
We're traveling to Hawaii to better understand the doctrine of the gathering. But first, a bit of history. In 1830, the Lord gave a commandment to his saints, "A commandment I give unto the church, that it is expedient in me that they should assemble together at the Ohio." Since the beginning, the saints have been motivated to gather to seek God's law and endowment, which was closely linked to consecration and the temple. This gathering place shifted from Ohio to far west to Nauvoo and to Utah. Naturally, many Hawaiian saints wanted to receive these same blessings and potentially gather to some location. And that's why we're going to the small city of Laie. This vibrant little community is home to several special places. It has its own Latter-day Saint University, BYU Hawaii, with the highest percentage of international students at any school in America. It has a majestic and beautiful temple, the Laie Hawaii Temple. It's also home to the Polynesian Cultural Center, where you can learn about all the different cultures throughout the Pacific. This is a beautiful place with scenic beaches, delicious food, and the peaceful spirit of aloha. Latter-day Saint missionaries first arrived in Hawaii in about 1850. George Buchanan was among those first missionaries, and he teamed up with local Jonathan H. Nepela to publish the Book of Mormon in Hawaiian. To help me better understand the stories of these first missionaries, I met with BYU Hawaii historians Riley Moffat and Felipe Cho, who take me back to an important statue.
Tell us about this statue.
This statue commemorates Jonathan Nepela and George Buchanan, who worked in the Hawaiian mission at its beginning in 1850-51. Jonathan Nepela was very literate in Hawaiian and English, and so they worked together to translate the Book of Mormon.
And they translate the Book of Mormon, and we're off to the races.
Yeah, and by the time of Elder Cannon's mission was over, there were 4,000 members in the kingdom.
Which is a pretty big percentage of the population.
Yeah, since there was only about 80,000 people in the entire kingdom. So we had 5%.
One core doctrine from the Book of Mormon is the gathering of Israel. "I shall gather in from their long dispersion my people, O house of Israel, and shall establish again among them my Zion." These Hawaiian saints believed they were from the house of Israel, and thus may have had questions about the gathering. Another missionary to this area was Elder William R. Clough, who received a powerful vision while praying in a small grove of trees where Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball appeared to him and told him that Laie would be a gathering place for the church and that a temple would be built there. But many faithful Hawaiian saints still wanted to be near a temple, so some of them moved to Yosepa, Utah. However, Joseph F. Smith made a big announcement just a couple of decades after wandering in the jungle where the temple would be.
It was behind here in 1915 that Joseph F. Smith knelt and dedicated the site for the building of a temple.
Joseph F. Smith just had the inspiration and a strong spiritual feeling, and that's why he decided to dedicate. And then he had to go back to Salt Lake and then talk to the brethren, make sure that they were okay with it.
And so he went back to Salt Lake and got permission from the brethren and announced it at the October 1915 General Conference. And the temple was built here and dedicated in 1919, and it's been a blessing to all the people of the Pacific.
So the Yosepa saints moved back to Hawaii. Decades later, Joseph F. Smith told the Hawaiian saints, "My brothers and sisters, do not leave this land, for this place has been chosen by the Lord as a gathering place for the saints of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Hawaii. And upon this place the glory of the Lord will rest, to bless the saints who believe in him and his commandments." Prophets have embraced this idea of hundreds and thousands of gathering places throughout the world. Bruce R. McConkie stated that the place of gathering for the Mexican saints is in Mexico. The place of gathering for the Guatemalan saints is in Guatemala. And so it goes throughout the length and breadth of the whole earth. The gathering brings together and builds cultures. Saints can flourish in their own lands, celebrate their own cultures, and thrive in an environment of gospel learning with a temple near them. And here in Laie, the saints fulfilled the Lord's command to gather, to consecrate their efforts, and build these beautiful places, culminating with the Laie Temple.
A few hundred people here, unheard of, right? Not many members here, and then the inspiration front to build a temple here. And then followed up with that was President David McKay's inspiration to put a school here, the Church College of Hawaii, that's today BYU Hawaii. And then, of course, then the third leg of that stool is the Polynesian Cultural Center.
I'm going to help you play the drums and also speak in my language. You ready?
The doctrine of the gathering is still taught in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints today. But instead of converts gathering to the American West to attend the temple comes to the people. In places like Laie, which was one of the first international gathering places, temples are built and a new gathering place is established. People come from all over the world, bringing their cultures together, but also creating a new culture of the saints of God who've entered into sacred covenants through the ordinances of the temple. Laie was the first temple built outside of North America, and today there are hundreds of temples all around the world and new gathering places being created where people can come together, enter into sacred covenants, and get the best of each other's cultures together.
Tell us what the gathering looks like in the 21st century in the church.
Well, when we go into a new country, first thing that we do is we send the missionaries in, and then they get an apartment, and their apartment really becomes the first gathering place for them. Because you'll serve as their apartment, but also that's where they'll hold Sunday school and where they'll hold sacrament meeting with, half a dozen. And then they move on to a new gathering place, and usually it'll be a rented hall. So that's kind of where they start with their gathering. And so after the rented halls, then eventually as the church continues to grow, is when the church then might purchase existing building and convert that. And then eventually then the church will have its own first built chapel. They'll buy a property and then they'll build a chapel that will serve as a gathering place for them. In many cases, like for example, the temple in Seoul, Korea, the members actually donated 4 times of what they were required to raise local funds to do that. But besides the money, they also spend time to help build the building.
And that's just like the early church too, right? Where one day in 10 they'd work on the Kirtland Temple or the Nauvoo Temple until they built it together.
In Hong Kong, for example, the first mission home was torn down to put in the chapel and then torn down to put in the temple, the China-Hong Kong Temple. In Taiwan, the first chapel and mission home there, same thing, that lot of land is in a prime location, right? And now they've torn down that first chapel and mission home, and now we have a temple and a multi-purpose building, administrative building that serves kind of like the church headquarters there.
And you haven't just written about this, you've kind of lived part of it.
The Laie Hawaii Temple has been a key gathering place, a gathering temple for the saints in the Asia Pacific. And there's so many stories of sacrifice and faith of saints from Tonga or Samoa, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, where they have a great sacrifice to be able to take their families to travel all the way to Hawaii to be able to be sealed as a family.
Yeah.
Right? Hawaii is our first temple outside of the mainland North America that will serve Asia Pacific until the 80s, when Tokyo, Japan becomes the first temple in Asia to serve the saints there. And then of course we've had additional temples that have come since.
Yeah, temples in Taiwan and Hong Kong and Bangkok. And it's just beautiful to see. It's multi-generational, it takes place over the span of decades. But to see those new gathering places showing up and to imagine what it's going to be like 50 years down the road is really incredible.
Right. And we're not fully gathered until we have been able to be in a temple, to be sealed as a family.
Yeah.
Right. That's the ultimate gathering, right? To gathering into the family of our Father in heaven, to be sealed, not just as spouses and as parents to children, but really we're being sealed His, right? Sealed to Christ, sealed to the larger family of our Father in heaven.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all the work that you're doing and all you're doing to gather Israel in your part of the world.
Joseph Smith explained the real reason for the gathering. What was the object of gathering the people of God in any age of the world? The main object was to build unto the Lord a house, whereby he could reveal unto his people the ordinances of his house and the glories of his kingdom, and teach the people the way of salvation.